Okay, it's a pleasure having you here. You're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome. As usual, we're here to talk about the market. We're to talk about how to trade the market, how to get opportunities in the market. And of course, we are going to be looking at a few instruments today based on what has been happening in the market. It's a pleasure having everybody here. You're welcome. Kindly signify where you're connecting to us from. It's a pleasure having you here. Right, so my name is Tolu, and you're welcome to this platform, Trading Live, platform bringing us together to share information about the market, right? And of course, it's for free of charge, right? So for those joining us, you're welcome. Kindly signify where you are connecting to us from, right? It's always a pleasure having people from different parts of the world here. Most times we have people from Dubai or Malaysia or somewhere in the Europe region and all, right? So as we said earlier, this is the weekly market analysis. So we're going to be looking at the market today and going to find opportunities in the market. So speaking of the market, right in front of us, we have the dollar, the DXY. So we're going to look at this for the majors as it's a key indicator for the directional bias for everything the major currency pairs, the likes of euro against the dollar, USD, euro USD, the likes of the pound USD, AD USD, NZD USD, USD CHF, and the rest of them. Right? Great. So before we look at the charts, first thing we always advise is to check the calendar. When you check the calendar, and we normally use the calendar from Forex Factory, you can get this calendar from different platforms. Even most likely your broker might be offering this calendar as well. But we normally stick to one source, and this is what we have been using for years, and we're comfortable with them. So today is May 3rd, Wednesday. You can see this is the calendar based on the news for today, or rather for the week. So this is Wednesday for today, where we have all of this news over here, right? So we need to also take note, right, that the first one came out at 2 a.m. Now this time that we have over here, they're all based on UK time zone. Repeat, they're all based on the UK time zone. So as we're talking about this based on UK time zone, right, it's going to help us to know exactly what happened and when. The next one was 1:15 p.m., 1:15 p.m., and then we had 3 p.m. The next one is coming out at 3 p.m., right? So normally we always say, as we have all of this news here, the last one will be coming out later today by 7:30 for the USD. And if you look at everything, apart from the first one at 2 a.m., which was for New Zealand dollars, every other thing here has to do with the US dollar. So you can see that US dollar is bound to be volatile today. The US dollar is bound to be volatile today. So you need to be careful. You need to trade with caution, because these are the times where volatility will be high. As volatility will be high, right? There tends to be whipsaws in the market. There tends to be spread increment. There tends to be slippage and a whole lot of other things that happen. But if you look at what we have now, the last one came out at 1:15 p.m. You can see for 1:15 p.m. it was green. And this green simply means what? The green simply means that it is good for the dollar. So it's good for the dollar. We're expecting that the dollar should have gone up at about 1 hour ago. But I always tell people that because of the lineup, we have too many dollar information. And then these are all high impact as well. Now, the major one for us to take note of, if you are not aware already, is the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee, right? The FOMC, where they're going to be talking about the rate hike, if they're going to be hiking or not. And the rate hike, obviously, for a while now, they have been hiking rates. They have been increasing the interest rate based on inflation. If you look over here, the forecast is even 5.25. So if you have 5.25 or we have more 5.25, then you should expect that the dollar should be explosive to the upside because it's showing that it will be green more or less. And if it is less than the forecast, then more or less it is going to be what? More or less it is going to be red, telling us that we should be selling the US dollar. But I must tell you that it's FOMC news. It normally comes with a lot of volatility. So I would always advise for you to be very, very careful because a lot could happen during that period. And this is the period, as a matter of fact, that a lot of traders are going to crash their account. It is not a cause. It is part of what? It is part of the happenings around this news. Okay, so Jack Aldrich, you said thoughts on gold. We're going to talk about gold shortly because gold is also what I look at apart from the majors. Because you remember, we're looking at the chart of the dollar. When we talk about the dollar, if the dollar is appreciating, they should expect gold to be depreciating, right? If the dollar is appreciating, we should expect gold to be going down. So we're going to do that as well, and we're going to look at that aspect. But we want to be sure that we understand what we're talking about here. Once we understand this, then trust me, we are definitely good to go, right? So I'm going to clean this up now, and we're going to cross over to the charts that we have. We're going to clean this up, and we're going to cross over to the charts so that we can start to talk about what we're expecting based on the news, based on what we have in front of us, and so on. So looking at the charts now, we're going to cross back, and if you look, this is the dollar index, DXY, and if you look very well as we're talking about this, we're expecting this first of all. That was yesterday. We're expecting this to hold as a form of demand over here. So this has failed as a form of demand. And then look at what the market has now done. It has now dropped to this area here. It has now dropped to this area here, where it could also easily be what? Sorry, let me change the color of this. It's a bit too tomato for me, right? So let me just use something light pink. Yeah, same thing. Okay, so as we're saying now, price has gotten to this area here of demand, right? So as this sitting here on demand, you need to be careful because normally for the DXY, if it's going to push higher from here, because we don't even have any candle as a signifying buying opportunity. But if we have, and it's going to push higher from here, if it's going to push higher from where it is, then you should be expecting that the Euro USD, as an example, the Euro USD is going to be dropping, it's going to fall, right? So we need to pay attention to this area here. Remember we said that the major news is coming out by 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. UK time. That is about approximately 5 hours from now. I repeat, that is like approximately 5 hours from now. So before then, do not be surprised if before then the market continues to do a sort of sideways movement before the news that comes out at 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. and you have some explosions, you have some big candles, massive candles showing some serious movements in the market, just like the ones that we are pointing over here. Whenever you see a big candle or big series of big candles that form, just know for a fact that that is based on news. I repeat, know for a fact that this is based on news that just dropped. This is going to help us to look at the market, right, and then to have an expectation of the volatility at that point in time. So trust me, this dollar is going to be volatile going into 7 p.m. later today. So normally advise, if you don't have anything to do in the market, the best thing for you to do is to stay aside. Be on the sidelines. Do not try to be a hero, but that is when heroes normally get slaughtered. That's when heroes normally get injured because they don't know what they're doing. And trust me, traders tend to crash their accounts a lot. Remember we said on the Euro USD that means that we are looking forward to selling. Looking forward to selling. Here was the area of failed supply. This area failed as supply. But let's see whether this area where it is could easily, you can see we will have an area here as well marked by this horizontal line. You can map your areas by horizontal line or the rectangles. So you can either see where the price is, or if you push higher a bit, and then we get our reaction here, and then we get our trigger Our trigger could easily be the likes of the pin bars or hammers or engulfers or any other candlestick pattern, any other candlestick chart pattern, right? Because chart patterns also, we have the candlestick patterns and then we have the chart patterns. Chart patterns are the likes of where you have like a triangle. We have a triangle like this, which is also known as a wedge. You could have it based on a rising wedge or this, or you could have like a head and shoulder pattern, something like this in this manner. So whatever the case might be, look for the candlestick chart patterns or look for the price action candlestick patterns in terms of the hammers and engulfings, and they must be bearish as well in this area to go in on short, right? So that's aside. We're going to quickly look at gold. I remember somebody talked about what about gold earlier, and that's coming from Jack Outreach. I'll also be going over the comment section. Don't forget, we always say if you have a question, always feel free to ask, and when you ask your questions, we will look at them together. So quickly for Jack Aldridge that said thoughts on gold. Remember, we always say that if the dollar is going up, let's look at the dollar again. This is the dollar index here. If the dollar is going up, you're expecting the gold to go down, and vice versa. If the dollar is going down, so we're expecting the gold to go up. So they move in the opposite directions, right? So let's look at the gold. This is gold. I think we have gold open somewhere. This is gold over here. We're going to look at this from the hourly time frame. So you look at what we have over here. We map this area here, this big rectangle, as you see over here. We looked at this area as a form of what? As a form of sideways action. Meaning that for a while, right, for 2 weeks thereabouts, we've been having sideways action on the gold, especially after we had this major drop on gold from the hourly time frame. It kept on moving sideways and sideways and sideways over here. So we boxed it just to show you the action happening for gold, because we also know that we have gold traders. But now look at what we have here. If you look now, you can see that gold seems to be breaking out. It seems to be breaking out of this major sideways action. So that means that as it is doing what it's doing, you should be expecting a pullback. You're expecting a pullback to this area, right? Meaning that for the what's the name? For the USD, that we're expecting it to go up. That means we're expecting this one to go down. You can see what we have over here. Now, as you're expecting it to go down, that means that over here, where you have a sort of resistance, you can see it's very tight, but you have a sort of resistance here, right? And based on the dollar, don't be surprised if you have like a bearish candle here. You have a bearish candle here that now takes it back properly into this area of range. And then we can now say that this was clearly a false break or a fake out. You can call it a false break or a fake out over here. So basically, you need more information based on this gold. Remember, we said one major thing now is if the gold is going up, right, is because the dollar is going down. I repeat, if the gold is going up, it's because the dollar is going down. And if the gold is going down, then it's because the dollar is going up. So we use the dollar as a major gauge for the major currency pairs and gold. So this is gold over here, and this is what I have over here. It's pretty tight based on this area of resistance, showing that it's trying to break out of here. And you look over here, you have this area from the past over here as well, matching with this area, but it is very tight. But don't forget, your clue is the inverse movement to the dollar. And we have too many news for the dollar coming out today, especially the one coming out by 7 p.m. UK time and 7:30 p.m. UK time as well. It is bound to be explosive. I mean, majorly explosive. I want to quickly breeze through the questions that we have, the comments that we have over here. And after Jack Aldridge said gold, oh, okay, yes, Jack Aldridge said, where do you find the news? We find the news in the website, from the website www.forexfactory.com. Let me type it out for you guys to have, www.forexfactory.com. So you should have that written in the comment section if you look very well, www.forexfactory.com. You can navigate to the calendar area. Right, that's for Jack Aldridge's question. Then Julie Harold, yes, We just talked about the gold now as well. For gold, I will be careful. As a matter of fact, for the major currency pairs, gold and even the Bitcoin. I'm going to switch the slide also to Bitcoin now, so you can look at the Bitcoin and then have an idea what's happening for the Bitcoin as well, right? You need to be careful. You can see for the Bitcoin here, we had this area. It's all about the area, the level, or the zones. We had this area as a form of supply. You can see what we had over here, acted as supply and then acted as supply, even though it breached. As it breached, let me clean this up. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to zoom in once. I'm going to zoom in once, so you see what we're talking about. You can see this candle here in that same area. This candle that we're pointing to is more or less a what? It's a bearish pin bar that you could have used as your form of trigger to enter. You can see it is now going down in this manner, right? So you should also take note, as we always say, take note of the price action candlesticks, right? And you have like the bearish hammers in this case, that we have a bearish hammer, also known as bearish pin, or maybe you have like the bearish engulfing in that area. We could as well have a chart pattern. I can tell you for a fact that we also have a chart pattern here, and we can call this a flag pattern. I call this a flag pattern here, where you can see this in this manner based on the diagonal, and you have this here, and it also has a form of extension. You can see this is what we have over here, and this is known as a flag pattern because it looks like a flag in this manner. Oops, sorry. Let me draw that again. It's like a flag in this manner, like this, right? Like this, where you're expecting price to move inside in this area and then to drop. Could even use this area as a form of retest to drop further down, at least to these lows. That means that we're expecting this Bitcoin to drop at least to these lows over here, right? So from this area here, you can see it has just broken out over here. That means that it has just broken out. Don't be surprised if it pulls back here quickly to retest and then to drop further down. But then don't forget, please pay attention to the high impact news. I can't stress that enough. If you do not know what's going on, then stay aside, be on the sideline, sit on your hands. You can take your dog for a walk. If you don't have a dog, then take yourself for a walk. Just make sure you leave your system if you're not sure what's going on. Okay. Hoa Mary said Euro odd. Okay, we're going to look at Euro odd now. You can see most times when we have our weekly market analysis session, we have a disclaimer for you where we say this is strictly for educational purposes, but should not be used as a form of signal. Hoa Mary, I'm still scrolling down, but you did not mention the time frame. So I'm just going to stick to the 1 hour time frame. The next question I can see is from Grace Herty that said, can you check AU, that's Australian dollar, US dollar, 15 minutes, please? Okay, so that is specific to the time frame as well. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to clean this up first of all. And then because you mentioned the Euro AUD, you mentioned Euro AUD for us to check. This is what I'm going to do. For Euro AUD, I'm going to stick to the 1 hour time frame. Let's look for Euro. This is Euro AUD here. We click on this and drag it inside. It gives us the fresh chart of Euro USD. For this Euro USD from the 1 hour time frame, the first thing that jumps at me, guys, is this area here, area level of zone of supply. This is the first thing that jumps at me over here. And you can see this is Euro AUD. The good thing about this Euro AUD is what? Is checking the calendar. Remember, we just checked the calendar not too long ago. Checking the calendar, we do not, I repeat, we do not have any news for the euro, and we don't also have any news for the Australian dollar, but you need to be careful as well. So this is an era of supply, an active of supply. Now, excuse me, now it is back here again as of supply. You can see it is reacting to this area, showing that the sellers are there. If you have a sort of price action candlestick pattern here, it could be an engulfing, bearish engulfing, it could be a bearish pin bar, it could be a bearish hammer over here. Please do not hesitate to pull the trigger in this area here and then put your stop loss above with your take profit at this lows here. So you're expecting the market to go all the way down to this point in your favor. One thing I would also try to be doing, right, on my own part here, is to be doing screenshots. I like to do screenshots, right? And then from the screenshots, I do something when the market obviously has played out for the day, right? Because more or less this could work out based on an intraday perspective, You can work out based on an intraday perspective, or you could even work out based on a short-term swing position perspective, or whatever the case might be. But I personally, I like to keep records of them by doing a screenshot. You guys can also do a screenshot, especially for the person that asked us to look at the Euro AUD. That's from our Miri, and the other person that trades this instrument. Pay attention to it and take note of it. And if it works out, it will be a no-brainer for you. So that worked out because we trade strictly the areas or levels or zones, strong areas, strong levels, or strong zones. So this is Euro AUD. I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to talk about the AUD from the 15 minutes time frame for the next person. We're going to look at the 15 minutes time frame, and that is coming from Grace Herty. Can you check AU 15 minutes? Okay, this is the 15 minutes. For this 15 minutes, a few things have jumped at me, right? You can see I'm just doing this on the fly. I'm doing this, right? First of all, first hand in front of you guys. And you can see from what we have over here, first thing that jumps at me is an uptrend. But apart from the fact that it's an uptrend, another thing that jumps at me now is what is the fact that from what we have here, this is a sideways market here, right? So that means that for the past 2 days or so, thereabout, the market is moving sideways, right? Sideways. Let me just map this area of sideways over here, sideways action. In this sideways action, if you look very well, it looks like it wants to break to the downside. If that happens, it breaks to the downside, expect a pullback to this area here and then a further drop. It's going to drop further, right? You should be expecting the price to drop to this point. I was even expecting somebody to say something. Now, what about the news? What about the news? Because if you look in front of us, this instrument, this currency pair is what? The currency pair is AUD USD. I can see the USD is involved. So that means that we have news coming out for USD in a bit, right? For today. And today being Wednesday, remember we said 7 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. is very, very important. The FOMC, which stands for the Federal Open Market Committee news. Once it is released, explosion is going to occur. You need to be careful with this one. But this one here, as we are saying, we're just talking about this technically because the fundamentals, you need to wait for it to come out. Most times on a day like this, I might most likely not be in front of my system. And if I'm in front of my system watching the news drop by 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m., then most likely I might have my popcorn in front of me and watching the volatility because I do not want to be inside that market, right? I repeat, I don't want to be inside that market because you could easily have candles like this. This candle, by the way, came about from yesterday's news for the Australian dollar. You can go back and check the calendar. Somebody asked for where we get the news from, and then I said from Forex Factory, and I typed in the comment section. So go back and check on this. I want to quickly flip back to the comment section because I want us to look at the questions or comments that you guys have. At the top of the hour, by 3 p.m. UK time, we have news coming out for the dollar. We could also easily have some volatility. So you need to be careful where the market is here because you could have some volatility that could scatter everything, that could cause a massive whipsaw here and destroy this area for the AUD USD. But this is what we have here. You could also, I repeat, you could also do a screenshot here and then take note of the fact that, let me just write it down. Take note of the fact that there is news, right? There's news at 3 p.m. That's 3 p.m. UK time, 3 p.m. UK for USD. We have news coming out at 3 p.m. for USD. We need to be careful of what? We need to be careful of the high impact, the movement in the market. That will cause some movement, that will cause some sudden whipsaws and so on. And of course, slippage. Slippage is something that can also occur, which simply means that if you use a pen order, it may not trigger at that place, but rather it might trigger at another place based on what? Based on the volatility, based on the high impact of that news, right? So quickly, let me just go into the comment section. I'm just going to quickly, and apologies in advance if I don't see your comments, it's because I'm breezing through. Okay, beautiful. We have somebody from Miami. Beautiful. I think you might probably be the first I've seen from Miami here, Dana Williams. We always say, guys, that introduce yourself. Let us know where you're connecting to us from. So Dana Williams said, good morning from Miami. Awesome. So I believe in Miami, if I'm not mistaken, that should be EST. That should be about 9. It should be about 9:38 your time now. I'm in BC, that's PST, Pacific time. So it's at 6:38 p.m., 6:38 a.m. Sorry, it's in the morning over here. Okay. Let us quickly breeze through. Haley Pearson said oil. Okay, guys, apologies as I most likely might not be able to go over all the instruments because of time, but we'll try our very best and we'll try to do screenshots as well. One thing I always say is that you can also chat me up on Instagram and then we could see what we could do for you. I have a course that you can subscribe to. I have mentorship as well. I'm going to do something. I'm going to drop a Calendly where you can book a call. I repeat, I'm going to drop a Calendly where you can book a call. And then from that call, you can discuss with me for about 15 minutes. It's a call for 15 minutes where we discuss whatever you want to discuss based on the market. Maybe you have issues on the market or whatever the case might be. We have a healthy discussion on it. And then we see if we can give you some information that helps you out. I have too many comments here. I might have to just breeze through. I've dropped the link for the Calendly so you can book a call and then we can chit chat. Just breeze through. Let me see whether I have oil on this platform. Let me clean up this chart first of all. And let's look for the crude oil. Let's look for the crude oil. Crude oil should be somewhere. Where are you? Crude oil. If you don't have crude oil here, then I have to switch over to another platform. Okay, we have the Brent crude. When you look at the Brent crude, is also this WTI. Let's look at the US crude. Okay, this is 15 minutes to the 1 hour time frame. I didn't see you mention a time frame, so we're going to stick to this one. The first thing, it's been a while I've looked at crude oil, by the way. So the first thing that jumps at me, I repeat, the first thing that jumps at me is this movement, a downward trend from this 1 hour time frame. I love it a lot because it is super duper clean. Super duper clean. You can tell that the sellers are in control. And then if you want to be a seller, you want to sell over here, you should be looking forward to the areas of supply somewhere around here. You should be looking forward to price doing a retracement, right? I repeat, price doing a retracement. I'm going to show you guys something because whenever I look at charts, I could have different interpretations or different, maybe to add a particular tool to it. So I'm looking at here, first of all, as a form of pullback here for us to jump in because clearly the trend is a downtrend. So as a downtrend, you also have an area here. Remember, we trade with areas, levels, or zones. So if you hear me say area, is also a level or a zone. And these levels that we're mapping or zones that we're mapping are known as what? Are known as supply. One thing that jumps at me also is the fact that I can use the Fibonacci. For Fibonacci traders over here, I think sometime last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken, I think we had a discussion on Fibonacci exclusively. I'm not sure. Maybe you could check my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is at CSA Forex. CSA Forex stands for Common Sense Approach. There must be a common sense approach to Forex trading. I hope the information you are getting is of value so far, so good. I hope to share more light as to how you're supposed to be trading. Now, pay attention. This is live trading. This is market analysis. You also have things like risk management that you need to know. You have other things like the fundamentals, proper fundamentals. Even this price action we're talking about, you can look at it based on support and resistance or supply and demand, right? At the end of the day, it's still based on the price action, based on the price movement, based on the price direction. And that's why you will always hear some traders say that price is king, because it's price that will give rise to all of these things, even indicators, if you're using indicators. So looking at this tool, we're using the tool based on the direction of price. We just talked about price being king. So from these highs, we're going to draw this all the way down here to this lows here. And then permit me, sorry, to change the color. Let me change the color of this. I'm going to change it from yellow. I'm going to change to something thicker, maybe blue. I'm going to remove 23.6. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how it looks like. I said remove 23.6 because it is not a very strong level. This is not the strongest of the level. But anything from 38.2, 50, and even 61.8 Fibonacci retracement levels are fantastic. And you can see this level that we mapped out here as our area of supply. we mark this area as our area of supply. It confluences, it has confluence with the 50 fib marker. So this will be a fantastic, I repeat, it will be a fantastic area to look for sell opportunities where you have like maybe a chart pattern. It could be head and shoulders here, it could be a wedge, or it could be a flag pennant, or whatever the case may be. You need to ensure that you look for the reaction here, because trust me, price will retrace. Price tends to retrace. It happens more times than not, right? And if it continues to dip in this manner, if it continues to drop, right, without giving a retracement, trust me, when that retracement occurs, it will be a strong one, because even at this, you also have, you notice that we've been talking about retracement because we're looking for following the trend and selling in this manner. Don't forget, we also have those that are known as counter trend traders. So counter trend traders will be looking forward to maybe buying over here. It's up to them, it's up to what they're looking at. Because trust me, from this 1 hour time frame, I think I'm spending too long here, and that means that I might not have room for other instruments that people are probably commenting on. So apologies as I might skip through them, right? You can chat me up on that Calendly, set up a schedule, or chat me up on Instagram at CSA Forex, and maybe you can ask me about a chart, and I could do the chart, prepare the chart down for you, and then send it to you, because I won't be able to answer all of them on this sitting. Why? Because of time, and the news is coming out in about 15 minutes from now for the US dollar. So I would like to pay attention to it, even if I'm not going to be trading it. So as we said, we also have the CT traders, counter trend traders here that might be looking at, oh, this is oversold, and most likely you might have a form of divergence here. You can see I'm mapping divergence here, because for the divergence indicator that traders normally use, the likes of the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, and the MACD, MACD, that stands for Moving Average Convergence Divergence. You even have this stochastic oscillator as well. So this could easily be used for CT trading, counter trend trading. If you're a counter trend trader, then you should probably understand what I'm talking about. So we talked about gold at length, right, which is good. I'm sorry, if you're talking about crude oil, this is the crude oil, sorry, not gold. So this is the crude oil we're talking about, right, the WTI. So I'm just going to do a screenshot of this from my own end as well. You could also do the same thing from your own end. So please, as we're talking about this and we do not get to talk about your own instrument, apologies. I'm just going to quickly breeze through the comments that we have here, because I have a lot. So we're talking about the NAS. Somebody's talking about the Euro JPY and Chef JPY. That's Eli Doris and Stacy Doe's Euro JPY and Chef JPY. Now, this is what I normally do as a form of exercise for myself. I try to breeze through as many instruments as possible for traders in this live market analysis session, just to try to satisfy everybody. But of course, it's not possible to satisfy everybody. You can see what we have over here. Immediately, first thing that jumps at me is this area here. It's an uptrend. We have this area here, this time around, as a form of resistance and not even supply. Where the resistance was over here, this was the resistance that broke out over here, and then now it's coming back. It should be coming back here, and hopefully it should act here as a form of support, right? Former resistance now turning to support, and you can see it's dropping down. Another thing I could easily do is to add my Fibonacci here from this lows, as you can see from the lows over here, add it to the highs over, finish drawing that, add that to the highs over here, and we'll see whether it has any confluence. And yes, indeed, it has confluence with this area that we talked about here, this area, which obviously is confluence with the 61.8, right? It's confluence with the 61.8 over here. So 61.8. As a matter of fact, 61.8 is actually the best level that you can enter based on confluence with the fib, because it will give you the smallest stop loss while going for the highest take profit here. If you're trading 23.6, we all said 23.6, most times I normally remove it so you don't see it. I could as well remove it now. Let me remove it. But I remove it and I go to my properties and then I go to 23.6 here and I delete it from it. I don't like looking at it. And I click on OK and you can see that disappeared. I don't like looking at it because it's not the strongest. I prefer 38.2, 50, or 61.8. If we get 61.8, then it's the strongest because it gives us the smallest stop loss for a very high take profit at the end of the day over here. Right? So this is what we have in front of us. So this is Euro JPY. You can do your screenshot. Apologies, as from here I most likely might not be able to look at charts. I repeat, I most likely might not be able to look at charts, or rather, we'll just go through any question. If I can just quickly answer without switching over to the charts. You can also do a screenshot from your own end based on this chart that we have just mapped out, the Euro JPY. And for the Euro JPY, most likely the CHF JPY might be similar because most likely they are heavily JPY driven, right? Heavily JPY driven. I can clean this up and I could look for the CHF JPY, draw JPY here. And most likely you can see, most likely it looks pretty much similar to the Euro JPY that we're talking about, right? Meaning that price is coming back to this area here, and then you could draw your Fibonacci here, and maybe it matches with 61.8 or 50 Fib. You can see this area matches with the 50 Fib complex, similar to Euro JPY. But let me just go over the questions that do not have to do with me checking or switching to the chart. So sorry if I can't look at Reginald Trust said yen looks to be sell before the Fed. Well, let's see how that goes, because as we've just done over here, the yen, right? That's the yen itself. The yen itself, from what we're seeing, as you can see, the yen as the CHF JPY shows that there's strength for the yen as it's dropping for the Euro JPY, and then the CHF JPY shows that the yen probably is what is strong. You might use the US JPY and other JPY to get your form of confidence as well. Guys, this is a trading session and not a training session, so apologies if I'm a bit too fast in the explanations. It's expected that you must have been trading for a little while and you're struggling and all. So if you are new, also pay attention. You can watch this on a replay on the YouTube channel, which is CSA Forex. I can also watch this on a replay here on the Trading Live platform as well. Kids, girls, worthy apologies. I will not be able to. I will not be able to look at the NAS. So you can chat me up on Instagram. I could do you a chat on NAS, and if you have any questions, maybe issues you are having, let me know. I can also do that for you. Colin Agnes said, "Are you going to be live for FOMC?" That's a good one. I used to go live for FOMC and also go live for like the non-farm payroll. So I might be doing that for non-farm payroll on Friday. I didn't think about the FOMC, but let's see how things go based on the timing, because I also tend to have other sessions. I have people that, you know, pay me for mentorship. So if anybody's interested in mentorship session, let me know. Can chat me up on the Instagram at CSA Forex. I have a course as well that you can subscribe to. So I have people that subscribe to my course or pay for my mentorship for my time. Then I might be in a session around that time. So I might not be able to, but if I'm going to, just pay attention to this platform, Trading Live, and if you follow me on the YouTube channel, it will pop up, and then you join me just before the FOMC, and we'll see how that goes as well. Myron Brady said a helpful tool for navigating. Maybe that's the Fibonacci, if it's Fibonacci you're talking about. I'm just breezing through. Oh, beautiful. Peggy said good morning from Punta del Este. I hope I pronounced that well, from Uruguay. Beautiful. I love it when people tell us where they're joining us from Uruguay. Beautiful. It's a pleasure having you here as well. Punta del Este. What time is it at your end? It might probably be close to 10 a.m. I'm not sure. Just giving that a trial. Let's quickly breeze through. Someone said comprehensive coverage. Okay, thank you. Detailed overview of market performance. I'm impressed. Guys, you can share the link. You can always share the link to join us on our lives. We're going to be having another live tomorrow, and hopefully I do another live on Friday for the non-farm payroll, which will be at about 1:30 p.m. UK time. So when I say UK time, please merge that to your own time. So I can see somebody saying, thanks for that link. Okay, I dropped the link over there for you. If you guys want the link for the course, right? You want the link for the course. I have a course that you can subscribe to. You want the link, then do let me know. I can drop the link in the comment section. But in the next few minutes, I want to round up quickly. So I'm just going to breeze through, and I obviously won't be able to look at charts from anybody again. I won't be able to look at charts. I would only be able to look at I would only be able to look at the likes of regular questions from you all. I'm going to do that now. Just a question. Let me just flip over to that. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just breezing through because of time. I want to be done before 7 minutes from now. The news that comes out. Harry Johnson, what's your thoughts about US 30? I can't flip to the chats now. Please chat me up on Instagram. I could do a chat for you on the time frame of your choice. Instagram handle. Let me just write it down for those here. Me saying Instagram without maybe typing it out. My Instagram handle is at CSA Forex. So I've dropped that in the comment section over there. Gold, we already talked about gold. Wayne Nelson. Sorry, I'm just breezing through. I'm going to round it up now, by the way. Oh, beautiful. Rupert Rutherford. I think you've joined that. I think your name rings a bell. You said from Dubai. Awesome. It seems we always have people here from Dubai that are always joining our lives. Beautiful. What time is the FOMC news? Christian Reynolds. The FOMC news is 7 p.m. You have 7 p.m. and then the meeting minutes is 7:30 p.m. UK time. UK time. So convert that to your own time zone. You need to be sure of the time zone. UK, I'm using UK time, and that is 7 p.m. stroke 7:30 p.m. Right? Let me see, about 5 more minutes to the news coming out for the dollar. Some people seem to be commenting on gold. Sorry, I can't flip back to that. Gregory Moeling said Fibonacci is the best tool out there. Yet Fibonacci is actually a very good tool for trend traders. It helps you for retracement. That's why it's called Fibonacci retracement. That's the name, not the name I gave it. That's the name. Fibonacci is the name of the individual that came up with those numbers, 23.6, 38.2. You can read up on his history if you're interested in things like that. Let me see quickly. Just quickly breezing through. We're going to round it up now, guys. You have any questions, chat me up on Instagram. You can use the Calendly link as I posted earlier. I'll post it again. You can use it, and this time around you can schedule a 15 minutes talk with me. Hopefully you can do that, and then we just have a chit chat about your trading and all. More people talking about gold, talking about FOMC 25 BPS. That's from Yo. Yeah, it's 25 BPS that is expected for the dollar later today, but let's see how that goes. And of course, if we have something higher and you have the dollar appreciating, expect the gold to drop. And you said gold might readjust in 1980 to 1990. That's what you said. Let's see how that goes for gold. Now that you're expecting the gold to drop, let's see how that goes. You said if 20 MA, okay, you are using moving average, no problem. That probably is simple since you didn't put S there. That should be simple moving average. Guys, well, I'm knowledgeable on a lot of instruments, I'm knowledgeable on a lot of indicators, a lot of trading strategies, because I've been trading for years. And while trying to find my holy grail, I use a lot of instruments, a lot of indicators, a lot of strategies, which I'm conversant with, but I don't use all of them now because there is no strategy that is 100%. All strategies tend to work and fail. It's all about sticking to one strategy. And what I use now strictly that you find on my chart is strictly price action. So you hear me saying areas or levels or zones based on support, resistance, supply, demand, and also Fibonacci. That is the indicator you find me Fibonacci for form of confluence. Just some breezing through. Someone said, don't trade the news. Yes, please don't trade the news, guys. Don't trade the news directly. The news is explosive. It's the type of people to easily lose money in this business. Someone said you're watching 5 minutes. You're watching 5 minutes. Please, 5 minutes is dangerous as a scalper. Make sure you are paying attention to the news because today, based on anything, the dollar is bound to be volatile, and 5 minutes could easily get blown away. I repeat, 5 minutes could easily get blown away. Glenn Harper said, originally, you are from which country, brother? I'm originally from Nigeria, right? Lagos, Nigeria, to be precise, right? And I am now in Canada, British Columbia. So if you happen to be in my, not just province, but if you happen to be in my city, Kelowna, right? let me know, and we can always meet up for a coffee. Maybe we could meet up at Starbucks or something. Just have a coffee, maybe a latte or whatever, and then just talk about the business, talk about trading, and we'll have a chit chat. Okay, so I want to say thank you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I need to run up now. It's 2 minutes to the news. I need to watch the chat, and because it's bound to be explosive, right? And the news coming out at 3 p.m. is the ICM Services PMI. That's the Purchasing Manufacturing Index. Is a key indicator in the next 1 minute for the dollar. This is what I'll do. Since it's just 1 minute from now, I'm going to do something for you guys now. I'm going to quickly do something. It's 1 minute. I'm going to show you how I look at this. I'm going to switch over to my first factory. This is where I get my news from. This is my first factory. You can see it says, you can see it's doing a countdown for me, 40 seconds. So what I would do normally, I'll refresh this page and you can see the countdown continues 35 seconds. So wait for it. And you know we're talking about the dollar. So based on this, right, based on this, I could now switch over to my dollar, watch the dollar index and see the reaction. Remember, we map the area of demand. We still have more demand below, but you can see it is almost time for the news in the next few seconds, about 10 seconds, right? I'm just doing this for you guys based on how I look at it personally. And this is why I say it is dangerous. 4 seconds per second, because there's volatility that occurs. So I'm going to switch, and then you can see it says pending. I could also refresh this and see what happens. Pending is about to drop. It should drop any second from now. But dropping any second from now, if we switch over to our charts, we should have some movement in the market. But then I tend to refresh this, still saying pending. As I refresh this, I could switch quickly to the US dollar, because it's the US dollar that we have news coming out from. Nothing major. You can see there's still some little reaction here. And then, as we said, the market might still move sideways. Who knows? It might still move sideways because of the big one, FOMC, coming out by 7 p.m. So let's switch back quickly to the calendar just to have a good feel of the news. Still saying pending. I can come here and then I can easily refresh. I can hit the refresh. As we hit the refresh now, look at what happened. 51.9. Let me explain what has happened now. We have 51.9 and the color is black. Black means neutral. It means do not buy, do not sell the US dollar. I remember we said something that more or less the market is waiting for 7 p.m. UK time and also 7:30 UK time as well. So 7 p.m., 7:30 p.m. is usually when you have the news. This now could just be a quiet one before the major one occurs. So pay attention. That's 7 p.m. Obviously, I don't know how the time might be. And that is like 4 hours from now. I repeat, that's 4 hours from now. So adjust that to your own time zone, because it is 3 p.m. UK time. I'm in PST. My PST now is 7 a.m. But I use UK time so that people can easily use UK time, because a lot of people in Europe, you are more or less using the UK time. If you are in Africa, you're more or less on the UK time as well. It's only when you have the daylight saving time, the DST, it switches by 1 hour. So if you are anywhere, maybe in America or Canada, based on ESC, PSC, or whatever time zone, please adjust that to the UK time. So now I need to wrap up now. I need to call it a day, and I want to say thank you guys for joining us. We have been talking about this, looking at the news, looking at the charts as well for potential plays, and make sure you pay attention to the World Cup now. The big World Cup now by 7 p.m. as it's bound to be explosive at the end of the day. Right? So I want to say thank you guys for joining us. I'm going to wrap up now. Don't forget, you can chat me up on Instagram, CSA Forex, if you're interested in the course. I have a course that you can subscribe to. And if you subscribe to the course, I'll definitely give you a bonus, right? I'll give you a bonus that you can take advantage of, right? So I'll just drop the link for that. Or rather, if you're interested, chat me up for it, right? And I'll give you more information on it. It's for a token, just for a little amount. And you can chat me up on Instagram for free. If you have any question, you want me to do a chat for you on any instrument. For those that couldn't answer your instruments, drop them and I'll quickly do that for you on Instagram. Or you can schedule a call on the calendar for 15 minutes. We don't have a chit chat like this where I even get to hear your voice, right? Obviously, I have an accent. I have an African accent, obviously. So I'm sure you've been hearing what I've been saying as well, right? So it's not conk African where you can't really hear what I say and all. We've been able to hear, we've been communicating and all. So I'll be able to hear your own accent as well. We can chit chat And then, you know, just rub mind on the market. If you're having any issues, talk about it. If you're in my own location, Kelowna in Canada, BC, we can see how we can schedule a meetup and just have coffee or something. I want to say thank you guys. I'm closing the platform now, and we'll see you. If not later today in 4 hours time, then we'll see you tomorrow for the market analysis, live market analysis trading session, and then probably we could meet up for the non-farm payroll. I'll see if I can schedule something for non-farm payroll shortly. Thank you guys. Trade safely, guys. Use your stop loss, and please protect your account by using the proper risk management, which is the proper volume, proper lot size based on your account balance. Okay. Thank you and goodbye for now. Cheers.